So I'm going to do one more example. It comes from the third knowledge organizer we're solving a quadratics, and that's if it doesn't equal 0. So if we have a look at this example here, example 3, so you can see here it's equal to 15 instead of equaling to 0. So if you remember the 3 steps I used in the previous 2 examples, we still need to follow those 3 steps. So step 1, make sure it's equal to 0. Again, step 2, factorize. Step 3, make each bracket equal to 0. And solve. So this particular equation doesn't equal 0. It's 12x squared minus 8x equals 15. So we need to do a bit of rearranging. I want this to equal 0. So if I want 15 to equal 0, I'm going to subtract 15 from the right-hand side to make that equal to 0. But if I subtract 15 from here, I've got to subtract 15 from the left-hand side as well. So I'm going to have 12x squared minus 8x subtract 15. Now my equation equals to 0, and that's my first step complete. So now that I've made the equation equal to 0, I'm going to factorize and move on to step 2. And remember, I want my 2 numbers in my brackets to add together to give me minus 8. So that's the first thing we need to think about. So they have to add to equal minus 8. And they have to multiply together to equal what the coefficient times the constant together equal. So 12 times negative 15. I want them to add times together to give me minus 180. Okay, so we've got to think about our factor pairs of negative 180, and we want to find the one that adds together to give us minus 8. So we need to now think about 2 factors that multiply to give us 180, but add together to give us minus 8. So I was thinking 18 and 10, they multiply together to give us 180, but I want minus 8, so that means I want my 18 to be negative, so negative 18 add 10, that will give us the minus 8, and that's how we're going to split this middle term up. Okay, so my x squared term stays the same. This middle is now going to split to minus 18x plus 10x, and my minus 15 stays the same, equals 0. And then again, split down the middle, factorize the first 2 terms, then factorize the second 2 terms. So we're going to look at 12x minus 18x. They both have x in common, and also the largest number that can be factorized into both is 6. So 6x is what I'm going to factorize out. 6 times 2 is 12, x times x, x squared. And then 6 times negative 3 to give me negative 18, and I've already got the x to create negative 18x. And then we'll look at the second one. This is positive this time, so I'm not going to factorize the negative out. I'm just going to be positive. And 5 goes into 10 and 15, so 5 is what I'm going to factorize out. 5 times 2x gives me 10x, and 5 times negative 3 will give me the 15. Okay, I can see I've factorized correctly because both of my brackets are the same, so that will form the first bracket in my factorizing, and then the outside of those 2 brackets will create my second bracket. So 6x plus 5 equals 0. So it's all still equal to 0. And now we solve. So we've done the first step and the second step. We've factorized. Now I'm going to make each bracket equal to 0 and solve it. So 2x minus 3 equals 0. Add 3 to both sides. 2x equals 3. Then divide by 2. X equals 3 over 2. Okay, I'm going to do the same with the second bracket. 6x plus 5 equals 0. Minus 5 from both sides. So 6x equals minus 5. And then I'm going to divide by 6. So x equals negative 5 over 6. So my two solutions to this equation is x equals 3 over 2 and x equals minus 5/6. I hope these three examples help. It is not the easiest equation to solve, but with practice it does get easier, and I hope this helps. Thank you.